Alright, if you see this right here, the way the light is coming down, this is a sphere kind of shoulder. Light's going to come off there, not going to go directly onto it. It's going to touch that, what we call the rope muscle. And the bicep's going to be in the curve also. Your tip come down, or the bicep's flat on top, and then it comes around and be a little divot right in here. There'll be some shading, a little more shading right there. Needs just a little bit of shading. It's got rubbed off. That curve right there, that muscle, making it flat right there. A little darker under there, light's not getting to it. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to create the illusion of depth inside it. And I tell you, man, if you're drawing and doing stuff, painting or whatever, Facebook or Instagram, one of them have this little thing you can punch and it says make your picture 3D. If you're doing it right, when you make that picture 3D of your work, it'll be like 4 levels. It was pretty cool. This was in the background. This was in the background. Next layer, 1, 2, 3. I think it was made 3 or 4, but it really gave it depth. This looked like it was way behind him. It made the chest and this leg look in the background, and this foreleg made it look cool, man. But it lets you know that it's starting to look 3D. Because sometimes, I don't know about y'all, but the Facebook thing or whatever, you try to put your artwork on there and it just doesn't look right, man. I mean, it's not. I had a lady in here the other day, and she had seen this on Facebook and been away. And when she come back, she was like, oh wow, it looks 3D. It doesn't look the same as it does on social media. Well, see what we're doing here? Do you see how that, while I was doing it, how it looked like it came out? This started coming out, and it gives it a, like a muscle. Makes it look like the muscle. This little rope muscle that comes through here, there's 2 of them in there. And you really have to learn anatomy, man. When I was in art school, that's one of the reasons I didn't freaking graduate, is because I could make more money drawing stuff for other people. I was starving to death, man. So we're gonna create the illusion of depth right there by a little shading under that shoulder muscle. See how it's starting to get depth? It's just by using tone. These little things are your friends. Funny story, man. When I was a kid and I just learned about using, store-bought smudgers, what I call them. My old man came in and was like freaked out because he thought they were a marijuana cigarette. I almost got beat up because of a smudger. Yeah, he was straight up. Let me know how he felt about that mess. Yeah, I'm gonna color under that. It's gonna be darker. And actually, man, one of the things I was privy to the information was this guy was like, hey man, when you he was super good. When you're drawing, he said, draw the actual way that whatever your subject is going, like the lines or whatever. And it does make a difference. But you can draw just regular and 2 dimensions or whatever and draw this. But if you want to sell them, man, they got to look like this. You'll end up and you'll make more money. Yeah, you can draw quicker or whatever, but and it has its place. When I'm doing a study or something, I draw quick. But if I'm doing something, especially for a client, I'm not gonna have anything hanging on somebody's wall that anybody will go, man, he could have done a little better. You know, they don't realize that you did it in just a few minutes or whatever, because it's the final product. You're not there to defend it. All right, the jaw muscle is right up in here, and the jawbone comes down. Well, the light is coming off this. It's at a small angle, so when the light gets hit, it takes away, starts making dark space. It comes in here. But also you got to think about the angle of his head. It's coming straight down, so this will be a weird little thing here. I already took it out with the eraser. When you take it out, it doesn't look right or whatever, you take it out with the eraser and you can come back. You don't ever leave it just straight bright white. But these little things right here work great, man. I've used this one 1,000,000 times, and I'll show you here in a minute what happens with it. You just take it and rub it through there, clean it good, test it on a piece of paper where it's got the same tone you want, and then rub that down so it's not super white. And you may have a few little like bright white spots where the light's coming and reflecting back at you. But you're not gonna have many super white spots on your drawing at all. And it's using charcoal is kind of a trip. If you're used to pencils or used to pencil or pen or whatever. Sorry about that. Pencil or pen, whatever. Charcoal's a little different, man. It's kind of like painting. I mean, you're just, you know, monochromatic, but it's the ear. There's a problem with the ear over here. I gotta take my kneaded eraser and take some of that out right there. But that is shadow of the light source coming straight down and barely catching the legs right here, right there. Do the material, and then on top of the leg. This here coming down. Make the shadow. Light coming here off your what's that, your lats, off the lats, coming down. The shoulder's gonna have an arc to it, and that'll cover all that. It goes to the bottom. So the bottom of this arm's gonna be just a tad bit darker. Different little methods, make little tiny circles. You drag from those darker spots. You can pull the charcoal from that area right there down. You have to be careful. If it's a lot of charcoal, it'll make a stripe there. I still do it, but man, it gets on my nerves. Alright, so the elbow here coming out, light definitely hitting that muscle, the main muscle going down the forearm, and you got that little knuckle thing that kind of sticks back, so it's going to be a different shade, different value. So we can see where the darkness is here. We'll pull this up out of there. And you pull from darker to lighter. It does two things. It helps smooth out the texture also. Having a bad hand day. And that sucks being an artist. But hey, get shot a couple times. Your arm don't work right. You just gotta take the good with the bad. That's another reason it takes me longer to do them now. I have to do a lot more cleanup. Sometimes if I've stretched it and warmed it up good, it works alright. But then again, there's just some days that it's just... That's alright though. I appreciate it. They said I wouldn't be able to do anything. I just got a little bit more charcoal from a piece of paper over here. And I put it on one side, and that way I can roll this little thing. And as I roll it, there's more charcoal on the other side of the point, so I can use that. And if it's too much, I roll it back the other way. Roll it back to the right. Need more, roll it to the left. Or right, whichever. Yeah, right. Yeah, and then always step back from your work and look, because sometimes you get up in there and you get close. You get up in there too close and you just get lost in there. And then you wind up doing something stupid and you have to... It looks good when you're up in there, but you're not seeing the whole picture. Because sometimes I don't even draw, like, look, I don't draw this part right here. Especially when I'm trying to get symmetry. I actually just kind of look at the entire picture. Like, it's kind of like staring. You just stare, and your vision, you can see all this in the peripheral, but you're just looking in the center. And then as you draw everything while you're still looking at this point right here, and especially in the sketching out phase. And you don't wind up with a big Charlie Brown pumpkin head and a little tiny tail end, and yeah, so alright, let's see where it's at. Alright, sometimes it's good to leave them big old edges right there. Well, that's gonna come up into there more. It's pretty close. Pretty close. You actually learn to draw with your shoulder doing this. I lost the fine finger dexterity, but I got the clamp part. I can roll it just a little bit, but not much. Alright, so that light's coming down, curve around there, dips on the way this right here, the shadows and the light, the way it's, reason it's at a point is because this is cylinder type. This is cylinder, muscles are cylinder type. So you're gonna have a darker edge, and then your edges will be darker, and then the middle of it is gonna, because it's closer to you, is going to be like this, yellow concave. Well, this being a deep crevice in between the muscle, it's going to be darker. There's another muscle right here. And all these muscle comes back and ties into this elbow joint. You notice it comes in there, and this, the top muscle, it ties in to the side. Doesn't tie in to where the bicep meets. It actually ties into the side of it. And if you feel on your arm where the bicep touches the bone there, there's a hole. There's a hole in your elbow. So that's where you want it to go. You want to be mindful of all that when you're doing everything. This light shining straight down on the wrist area and the hands, so your darker spots are going to be on the bottom of the ligaments and around the knuckles, the bottom of the hand, the knuckle there of the wrist. It's going to be cylinder type. Yeah, this needs to be a little darker in here. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but it's a like that. I'm dragging that charcoal from this spot over here back up into the arm itself. I've been saying I was going to do some of these drawing videos or how to or whatever, help out some of the younger guys that send me messages and stuff. I just actually don't ever think about it, man. I just don't think about it. If I got something to do, a piece or work or something, I just do it. This is one I keep coming back to. I do other stuff, but I just, some people don't want me to put their stuff on here. That's another reason I don't. If they give me permission, then yeah. This one may be in a book. I don't know. A couple of them with PTSD, involving PTSD and artwork for PTSD. Post-traumatic stress affects a lot of us, a lot of people. It's not just from combat or whatever, but man, anybody that suffers something traumatic like a tornado or something like that, it really helps to have some type of hobby. You gotta keep busy. If you're just always thinking about that and dwelling on that, well, that's what you're gonna be. And that old saying, you are what you eat, well, you are what you think. And if you think about depressing stuff all the time, well then guess what, you're gonna be depressed. Bada bing, bada boom. Alright, so we got a knuckle right here, and we want to accentuate that, or accentuate, whatever that word is. We want it to stick out. Jeez. Okay, so we're just gonna shade this a little bit more, but we don't want to get into the hand too much, because these ligaments right here and the bones on the top of the hand, they're catching light too. So we move it up, and this kind of looks a little dark right in here, so I'll take a kneaded eraser and like pickling that, just da 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 da, with it about maybe a 1/16 of an inch circle on it. I'll show you that right here. This is a kneaded eraser. All right, one cool thing about this is you can make it whatever shape you want. So like, hang on that right there, say we want to take out a pretty good line, make it, squish it flat like that, and then I roll it over because it makes more of a flat line, you know what I'm saying? And then pinch it a little bit. You can actually pinch it into the shapes you want. I've seen dudes do that, and that's like sculpting and drawing all at the same time. All right, so we got the light coming down. It's shining on top of the muscle, but the hand, the arm is at an angle, so it's fatter up here, and then as the arm is going away from you that way, this part right here, we're going to be making the light that is shining on the top of the arm. So what I was talking about a while ago, you can either take it like this and you make a point, put it on your board and kind of wiggle it, and then flip it over and kind of wiggle it. See that knife edge it made? Almost like a knife edge. You can take that knife edge, like we want to take out some of that. So you take that knife edge and kind of bend it like what you want it to look like. Alright, I want it to have a little bit of a curve right there. Have a little bit of curve, and then a straight line. And then as you line that up, put that on there, lay it on top of it, pick it up. Ta-da! Now, this right here, we're gonna make like a triangle. 3 fingers makes a triangle. So you squeeze it, see that little triangle? Makes a little triangle on it. And that's good because you can go 1, 2, 3. Have 3 points. So alright, there you go. Oh, looked like we got over the line a little bit. So we're gonna test it out. We got over the line a little bit. We're gonna test it out. That's too much. We roll it around. We want it light. Light. Yep. Alright, so that's lighter. Now we're just gonna fill that back in. And you don't want to touch where there's already charcoal. Because if you touch where there's already charcoal, you're going to make a darker line because it has more charcoal on it. Go slow. Ta-da! All right. Turn around where you can see it. I hope that helps somebody out. Y'all take it easy out there. Later.